I hope you all are doing well. Today is a great day. Today is a day where you have every opportunity to go out and make your life into whatever you want it to be. And I am waiting. Jay Morrison's going to pop in here in a little bit. And Jay, as you know, Jay's my buddy. And Jay runs the Black House, and he's very, very smart. And he is a guy that everybody should know about because he's always making moves, which is something that I want you guys to do. And so I was trying to think about like something fun for Jay and I to talk about today. And I was thinking about money and power and some of the moves that you've been seeing in public in terms of like what happened with Elon Musk and him buying Twitter and how he's using his wealth as a tool for activism. And so anyway, how's everybody doing today? How you feeling? Let me know what city you're coming from. I always like to see what cities you guys are chiming in from. Let me see. What's up, P King? I see you. I'm looking. Whenever Jay pops in and makes a request, I'm gonna bring him in. He's got some things to say, and I don't know if anybody's ever been to the Black House, but the Black House is in Atlanta, and it's an extraordinary place. It's one of a kind. I mean, there's not many places around the country like this. I went down to Georgia also to see King Randall's new school. He built the school. He didn't just raise the money for the school. He raised the money and built it within less than 2 years. Well, he didn't build it. He bought it. He bought the building. And I did a tour of that school. Also, I invested with Brother Ben X in Hereafter Farms. Hereafter Farms is down in Georgia. They bought a ton of land down there. So let me see what cities I'm seeing here. I see Columbus, Ohio. I went to Ohio State. Shout out to my Uncle Jerry. My Uncle Jerry just died in Columbus. It was a terrible house fire. It was a week and a half ago. Atlanta, Washington, D.C., another Columbus. Okay, Milwaukee, all that racism y'all got up there. I heard about y'all. Taiwan. Wow, that's a long way. Well, hope you don't make China mad because the only reason they ain't trying to go over and invade your country is because y'all got all the microchips. Wilmington, Delaware, Chi-Town. Oh yeah, Alicia and I are gonna be in Chi-Town on May 15th. So if you'd like to join our generational wealth event, just go to boycewatkins.com, click on events, or you can click the link in the bio. It's adults only though. It's adults only, so no kids. So it's adults only. Bay Area tapping in. What's up, Bay Area? I see that. I see Bay Area. Let's see. Melanie from Atlanta via Jamaica. Nice. I talked to a sister from Jamaica the other day who was really, really disappointed with African-American men in her experience. Not all African-American men, but she had a really interesting perspective about what it's like to date as a Jamaican in America. And I'd be curious about that. Let's see. What's up, Dr. Boy? Hey, what's going on, man? Shots at Umar. Ain't no shots. It's just truth, man. I mean, you talk about building a school, build a damn school. I don't want to get into that, but my Lord Jesus, it's been a decade. Come on now. Minneapolis, what's up? Been to the Black? Yeah, everybody should visit the Black House. I have an office in the Black House. Whenever I see projects that are being done, I just want, if a brother's trying to do something, I got the resources to help. I try to help. In Detroit, they have the One Africa Unity Summit. Taki Grant held that for his film Hoppy. I'm an executive producer on the film, but Taki made the movie, and so I supported that. Totally sold out. Awesome event. I believe in uplifting the elders, the James Smalls, Leonard Jeffries, Scheherazade Ali, Dr. Malena Karenga. I hope they do it again in other cities because it was really successful. And then also, what's another one I invested? Sonetta. Sonetta had the Sonetta Awards, and he asked for a donation. I made a donation to that. So I try to support the things that I think are going to help move the needle, and I can't do everything, but I try. I try to help. Let's see here. And also there's another school, Freedom Home Academy International. I made a donation to that school. I'm going to support them again. So my two schools I'm supporting, we can't, adopt them all, but the two we're drilling our resources into are Freedom Home Academy in Chicago and King Randall School in Albany, Georgia. Let me see here. Minnesota, Detroit, Florida. Let's see, Baltimore, B1 from Baltimore, right on. South Carolina, D.C. and Maryland in the building. Ohio, Maryland, Connecticut, Puerto Rico. Is that Puerto Escondido, Mexico. Wow, that's heavy. I wonder if Jay's in here. Jay, if you in here, man, say something. Because I am looking for you and I do not see you. I love Alicia. She's so dignified. Yeah, if I got married, I wasn't going to marry some ratchet hood rat type woman. I just not. I mean, no disrespect to the hood rats in the building. But, I was just raised to believe a woman, is at her best when she has some sort of dignity and grace. I'm sorry, I'm not gonna marry Lizzo. I think it's okay. Every woman has a right to to walk around with a booty out. I guess if that's what she wants to do. Ain't nobody gonna stop her most of the time. They'll probably cheer her on, but I just personally think the black woman is at a goddess like stature, and I don't like it when that gets degraded. I understand being sexual and being sexy. That's important. Every woman wants to be beautiful, but my Lord Jesus, why are you giving it away cheap? Why are you giving away all the God's gifts and goodies in the discount aisle? That's what I don't like. Don't stay out of the discount aisle. Put it in Bloomingdale's. Put it in the premium store. Don't give away your goodies in the discount aisle. That at least at the very least that doesn't add to your value, in my opinion, in my 2 cents. Where can I send you some gear? Email manager@boycewatkins.com. That's manager@boycewatkins.com. So you can send the address. Caribbeans born in America is not spoken for politically. Interesting. That's a good point. Are there still tickets available for the Chicago conference? Yes. Click the link in the bio and look for events, and you can find the event in Chicago. It's May 15th. Also, we have a franchise program in the Black Business School that's currently right now for 24 hours is 76% off. So franchises are great businesses because it's like a business in a box. And we have a whole powerful set of training modules from attorney Tanya Nebo, who's an expert on franchising, that can show you exactly what to do. It's a great way to start a business. And so what we did was for 24 hours, we're charging only 24% of the regular price. So feel free to click the link and look for the franchise discount. And it's really good. And there's a money back guarantee for everything in the Black Business School. So if you're not happy, we'll give you your money back. We would talk about it in Charlotte. The pain is real when it comes to developing relationships with some African American brothers. They are lost. Yeah, some of them are. Some of the women are lost too, but a lot of the men don't have fathers. That's where a lot of it starts, to be honest with you. And then what happens is crazy is that you have men who were raised by a single mother who refuse to date single mothers. So that means that these men really hate their own mothers, or they saw what their mother was putting other men through or something. And they say, I don't want that for me. I don't want any responsibility for anything. It's kind of, or better yet, I don't want to say it like that. It's just real interesting. Like they sort of decided to attack single mothers, and most of these guys have single mothers, which is just really odd to me. Let's see here. Support DionNicole.com. Okay. Elevated Places in Houston. Do you guys ever come to Louisiana? Yes. We will be in Louisiana at the Essence Music Fest, July 1st through July 3rd. If you click the link in the bio, go to events, or go to BoyceWatkins.com, click on events. We have an event, a deep dive training. This is a 3-day event that's going to happen right at the same time as the Essence from July 1st through the 3rd. So feel free to come down to New Orleans. We're going to be there. Baltimore, great school. Thank you very much. Connecticut is on, right on. Hey, I'm looking for Jay. I don't see Jay. Maybe I'm not down. Here we go. There he is. Okay. All right. Sorry, Jay. Yeah. Okay, let's see if this works. Intelligence is sexy. Thank you very much. Hey, what's up, man?
Peace. What's going on?
Not much, man. Not much. Sorry, man. I was scrolling through the comments and I was looking for you. I don't know how to request you. Am I able to request you to come into my live, or do I gotta wait for a request?
Yeah.
Wait, are you able to hear me?
Yeah.
Hey, it sounds like you're going in. Wait, say it again.
Can you hear me now?
I heard you say that.
I turned my Wi-Fi off. This should be better, no? Hello?
Go ahead and talk. Go ahead and talk. Let you know if it goes out.
All right, I'm talking. Jay Morrison talking. Peace, family. What's good? Dr. Boyce in the building. No? You hear me? Can you hear me?
Yep. I sure can.
Yep. B1 Nation, what's up? I was enjoying listening to you answer all the questions.
Man. Yeah, man. I was just rapping with everybody until I saw your request. And I realized sometimes if the comments come in really fast, it'll take me a while to get down to your request. Right. And I was like, oh, gosh, if he's in here, I'm going to feel bad because I had him waiting so long. But how are things going down at the Black House? What you got going on down there?
Amazing. Things are going amazing. Actually, we have not officially launched it, but why not get some great exposure on a great platform to all the B1 audience? We're trying to get you there the week of June 1st. So June 1st not only marks the 101-year anniversary of the Tulsa massacre in Tulsa, Oklahoma, of Black Wall Street, the bombing and massacre of Black Wall Street, June 1st, 1921. But June 1st also marks the 4-year anniversary of the Tulsa Real Estate Fund. That's right, we still here, y'all. 4 years later and through a pandemic. And during our anniversary, we are having something where we're inviting everyone in the community to come out for 4 days of events at the Black House. We're calling it Black House Homecoming Week. And we want all you all to come home. Our house is your house. And for over 14,000 families, that is literal. And so during that homecoming, we have some special events on Wednesday. Queen E, Ernie, as you call her, Mrs. Morrison, will be doing Greenlit ATL on Thursday, a big media mixer, a huge media mixer and content creative mixer. Friday, we got a dope event going on Friday. I won't tell everybody what it is just yet. And then Saturday as well, we'll have some dope events for family and community service. So we have 4 days of activations. Even Sunday, I think we're doing something, almost 5 days of activations as Black House Homecoming Week. And just all those who've been a supporter of my works and efforts to repair our community and unify our community, and all those who've been supporters of the Jay Morrison Academy, the Legacy Center, Tulsa Real Estate Fund, Cash Buyers Academy, Easy Funding, YMC, United Africans in America, and the million brands and initiatives we created over the last decade, all with one purpose: the unity, justice, and repair for Black people. Anyone who's been supportive of any of those movements or activations, our shutdown of Houston's restaurant, our political Black Rights Party movement, all that, come on out and tour the all-new Legacy Center and get a whiff of the all-new Legacy Center University and our newly renovated 20,000 square feet media production and film space. Pull up. Black House Weekend, June 1st through 5th. So that part.
Man, I love that. I love that. I think that's really good. And one of the things that I find remarkable, about the way you think is that you're what I call conscious, but I use that word in a way that's different from a lot of people. A lot of people think they throw the word conscious around. Anybody can get the label without, but you're truly what I call conscious, because to me, consciousness means being able to see all pieces of the chessboard, being able to live in different parts of space and time at the same time. And so I see you, like when I go through the Black House or I hear you talk, I see you talking in a way where you know what this is going to look like 50 years from now.
Right.
Like you're living in the year 2080, in the year 2100. You know what I mean? Like you're looking at legacy. The fact that you even called it the Legacy Center, and you've got legacy all over the walls inside the Black House, and there's just in the way you talk, the way you're sort of commemorating and validating the very important work that you've done and the things that other people have done, and I'm honored at the event. And it's June 1st, by the way. Somebody asking what date it is. It's June 1st at the Black House. And I just really think I think that's why we became friends. So one of the reasons, a lot of people don't know, like I don't even know if people know how you and I became friends, but I remember when you called me, I really pay attention to how people talk and how they think and how they process information. And I was super impressed with it, man. I was like, okay, this guy is like on point. Like, he really gets a lot of stuff. And I never even asked you one time, like, what school did you go to? What degree do you have? I don't give a shit about that. It's like, I know a smart person when I see one. And unfortunately, I can recognize a dummy in a second, and I said, okay, this guy is at genius level. And so, I like rolling, man. I think it's, it reminds me of some other remarkable conversations I had. Like, have you ever had a chance to, have you ever happened to talk to like Immortal Technique, the rapper?
I haven't, no.
Yeah, he was on my brain today because he shared something real interesting about how the Catholic Church got $1.4 billion in coronavirus relief. And they claimed, a congressman claimed that part of the reason they got the money was because of the financial stress of having to pay out all those lawsuits for molesting kids. So they gave them relief money because they were molesting kids and they needed help financially, which I thought was the craziest thing ever. But yeah, but like I remember when talking to Immortal Technique, I remember like talking to him and thinking, okay, this I'm talking to the guy who wrote those lyrics that were very deep and it made me think, okay, this guy's pretty smart. I'd love to hear how he processes information, you know.
Right.
And I think it's a skill that can be sharpened. You know, like I think some of us are born with a little more than others, but I really think that in our society, I don't know how much that's encouraged. Like I really encourage everybody to like take that time to learn what it really means to be like try to be a critical thinker. And sometimes being a critical thinker, I think, just means thinking. You know, just sitting there, just meditating on it. Like don't make a snap decision or snap judgment. Hear all the perspectives, process it all, put yourself in different people's shoes, and you'll be amazed at how many unique insights you can come to if you just give yourself time to process things. What do you think about that?
You know, I'm in such agreement. Quick story for family. Like when I was young, I used to think so much to myself, like in a corner by myself. My grandmother had a thinking man statue, like with the knee up like this, and like with his hand on his chin. And everybody would always call me the thinking man when I was like 5 years old, 7 years old.
Really?
I always was just like a thinker, and I think so many of us are so emotionally driven, and I'm very like practicality, logic, like solution driven. And my mom literally used to like spank us over making dumb decisions and like not thinking. Like, boy, what are you thinking? Right? And like, so it was drilled into me, literally drilled into me. Like, you got to think about what you're doing. Did you think before you did that? Before you said that, did you think before you said that? Right? And I think so many of us as adults, we just say some shit. We just do some shit. We don't even think or we hear something that gets us fired up and we never process it versus all the other information that we've heard. And so like, I was thinking as you were talking, and I was like, if you think back to when you and I met, right before Tulsa Real Estate Fund launched and before I came to All Black National Conference and all of we just met. Cold stone, cold call, never built before. If you think back to all the passion I gave you then, all the ideas I gave you then, and all those, how consistent have I been? It's been like 4 years now or so, maybe 5 years almost, going on 5 years. How consistent have I been with the same vision, the same everything that I told you in that very first conversation?
Oh, very, very consistent. You know, you've been a consistent person, and also, you know, when you first explained, when you told me about the Tulsa Fund idea, just when it was an idea, that was when I was in Guyana, and that was 2017, and that was after I knew you. I think we'd had one or two conversations before that, and I remember I asked a lot of questions just out of curiosity, and you answered every question like perfectly, you know. And I told Alicia about it. I said, yeah, I think he might really do this. This is going to be a big thing, but it'd be great if he pulls it off. It sounds like he's dotted all his I's and crossed his T's. And then you really were relentless, you know, in terms of really pushing forward with it. And you put something on your Instagram once that I agreed with, where you said that, you know, that the motivation or the inspiration will get you started, but it's the discipline that keeps you going. You know, his discipline is when you can keep going, even when you're not motivated and inspired anymore. Like that tank is run out, and you had a lot of discipline with that, and then dealt with a lot of the ups and downs that come with being you know, with carving out new territory. You know, like you think of, you know, explorers who, you know, 1,000 years ago going to new areas that they've never been to before. It's treacherous. It's difficult. You know,
It's called pioneering, man. It's called pioneering.
There you go. There you go.
Somebody got to carve it out. So I want to level this conversation up also for us. So what I was thinking about coming into the call, you touched on a piece about critical thinking versus emotional thinking. This is a community level up, y'all, because you might believe in your religion, right? Which is all a man-made tradition and practice, mind you. Not your relationship with God, but your religion is man-made, right? Not your relationship with God, but your religion is guaranteed man-made.
Yes.
You might agree with that. You might agree with your ethnic ideology, that you're Moor, that you're ADOS, that you're Republican New Africa, that you're African in America, that you're Pan-African, that you're Nation of Islam, that you're Hebrew, right? We all got that. You might have different views on LGBTQ and whatever other letters might be associated. You might have other perspectives on, right? Cool. No one says in critical thinking you have to change your beliefs, but in critical thinking, you identify things that make sense in spite of your beliefs, right? In spite of your emotions, in spite of how you were raised, because critical thinking allows you to go to new territories and pioneer new things. If your thinking is all based on old things and old people and old logic, we never have an airplane. We never have a cell phone. We never have FaceTime if someone wasn't critical thinking and breaking barriers that were unknown before. We can never have a nation. We always want nation building. It's a cool term, nation building. Black Lives Matter and all of these things. These things can't become reality without critical thinking and challenging our old thinking. So critical thinking requires you to, in an unemotional way and in a mature way, in an emotionally mature way, you're still emotional, but in an emotionally mature way, challenge everything you know as you know it. That allows you to pioneer new territories and go to Mars. That allows you to unify as a people or literally build a nation. So I say all that to say this. Do you have an extra phone on near you or somewhere you can go to a calculator?
I mean, I could try to do it on paper.
Okay, or paper. Yeah. I mean, who am I talking to here, right? If not, we're going to ask you guys in the chat to calculate with us real quick, right? I just want to talk about nation building for just 1 second in a non-emotional, critical thinking, logical way. All right? So, I believe European powers have promoted population control to us. Abortion, birth control, family structure, and all these things, so we will be minimized as the minority in the nation and throughout the diaspora. Right? Think about this, Dr. Boyce. From a perspective of country to country, nation to nation, historically throughout time, what has been the strength of every nation? What's the strength?
I mean, if you have, the more people you have under a unified banner, the stronger your country is. I mean, that's one factor. Like China in versus say Africa. Africa's got tribes and nations and, in different languages. China, they're kind of all under one umbrella, which makes them pretty much the most powerful country on earth.
The more people, and let's be specific, the more fighting age men. Historically through time, it has been when Russia just attacked Ukraine, what did the president say? I need all men 18 to 60 fighting age to stand. Women and children, you have the opportunity to flee. A nation is only as strong as its fighting age men. Yo, I got chills right now. I'm telling you all facts. No one ever broke nation down to us. It's not a theoretical thing. I'm talking about practical, logical. America. How did America take over, coming from Europeans migrating from England to win over here territory? Fighting age men.
Yes.
So if I want to keep a colonized people and oppressed people from being a strong nation within my nation or having a nation of their own, I must control the fighting age men. School to prison pipeline, lock the men up, feminize the men, get the men out of the household, break the family up, break the marriages up, right? Many of us have divorces and or child's mothers and so we have other families. Many black men have other families, either through divorce or what we call commonly baby mamas. I don't like that term. I don't use that term for my two daughters' mothers. They're my children's mothers. They're my baby mamas. But nevertheless, they're still my offspring. I have girls, by the way. I don't have men yet, young men yet. But population control is designed to minimize our fighting age men. The school to prison pipeline is designed to minimize our fighting age men. Rap, music, media, and everything that destroys us is all to minimize our fighting age men. That's the foundation of every great nation. It's a fact. Yep. So you can look at it in every country. So here's the math part. Let's take something like Tulsa Real Estate Fund. right? Now, this is going to sound crazy. It's supposed to. Flying an airplane back in the 1800s, 1900s sounded crazy. Talking to my brother, who might be in Chicago while I'm on the road in Atlanta, seeing him visually on a cell phone, if you told me that 15 years ago, I'd say you're crazy. While other people watch and comment at the same time. So let me sound crazy real quick. Because uniting 15,000 people in an economic real estate fund sounded crazy a minute ago. Can't happen. You can't unite black people. Building a black house, literally a black house campus in Atlanta and Black Mecca sounded crazy. So let me go crazy with you. We have 15,000 families in Treff. So let's start with 15. I'm going to give you an easy math, and I'm going to go to some other math. So if those 15,000 families in Treff, right, were to be able to produce 12, right? This is high-level production, mind you. This is high-level reproduction. But just go crazy with me for a second. I understand the comments. Go do what the comments do, the trolls what the trolls do. I don't care about that. I'm talking about we're going to get somewhere here. If 15,000 families were to all produce 12 children or 12 fighting age men from 15,000 families reproduced to have 12 children within their family, how many people is that?
Well, 15,000 for 10 kids would be 150K. So add 2 more. That's
15,000 twice, 30,000 more.
Yeah.
180K. So 15,000 people in one generation, which is 30 to 40 years, had 12 children each. No abortions, no birth control, high-level reproduction. Had 12 children each. That's 180,000 people, all from the same belief, banner, and core system. If those 180,000 people had 12 children each in the next generation, 30 to 40 years, that's 60 to 80 years, how many people is that?
According to my math, I'm picking up about 2.1 million.
About 2.1 million people, all within 60 to 80 years of the same mind frame, same B1 ideology, brought up in the same households, same righteous mind, structure, and all that. Now, that's 60 to 80 years. That's one grandma. If those 2.1 million people in the third generation, which is now 90 to 120 years, have 12 children each, it's 25.9 million people in 3 generations, bro. We're trying to unify 45 million black people, all from traumatized homes, different nationalities, different ideologies, different religious theories, traumas, political ideologies. But in 3 generations, 90 to 120 years, the time that one person can literally live, you can literally populate, starting with 15,000 people, 25 million people by literally just being fruitful and multiply.
I went up another generation and got to 300 million.
311 million, brother.
There you go. There you go.
One more generation. 150 years. You have more people starting from 15,000 than current white people in America today.
Man. And all you really saying is that you want us to get together and do what we already do, have sex, make babies, and then just learn how to stay together. That's it. So you can raise them properly.
Have strong family structures that allow righteous men to lead righteous families to a righteous future. I'm not talking about loosey-goosey men who like a baby mama. I'm not talking about loosey-goosey men who don't get on their knees and pray for their family, don't have a sacrificial love for their family, willing to die for their family, have a covering over their family, not learning to get financially lit and leave the corporate plantation or leave the street corner or whatever. I ain't talking about that. I'm not talking about willy-nilly. I'm just talking about 15,000 people. But check this out. You could start with 7 people and do that same exercise, 7 times 12, then that next number times 12 times 12, you're still getting to tens of millions in a matter of 3 to 4 generations. Start with 7 people. So my point is, we do this hard effort trying to unify everybody. And as I get new downloads and all that, I still believe if you put the banner out for everybody to attach to the tree, who's ready and who has an ear to hear, because everyone ain't got an ear to hear. They want to hear what they want to hear. But what I'm saying is that you can get with a focus group of people with a mission and literally crowdsource our nationhood, crowdsource our future through the commandment that God already gave us to be fruitful and multiply. You got your nation. And under 200, you talk about 200-year plan for the community? You talk about 150-year plan for the community? We could be more than everybody.
Yep. Well, you know, the Chinese have a 100-year plan for their country, and I think they're in year 50 of the national 100-year plan, and they literally went from last place to number one in half of in just half of the plan has been executed.
Somebody do this emoji. Somebody give me this emoji, please.
Right.
In the chat. A people without a vision perish.
Yeah.
We don't have a collective vision as a people.
Yeah.
No wonder we're dying off. We don't have a plan to work towards. We have no milestone to work towards.
Yep. Well, you know what's funny, man, is when my wife spoke in Detroit the other day at the One Africa Unity Summit, she was talking about why kingdoms crumble, and she mentioned she talked about in terms of like family and structured relationships and all that. The three things that she mentioned that were very important were respect, trust, and then she said a plan, having a plan. You know, yeah, and she told an interesting story about King Ramses, and I got to go research this, but she said that when she found out she was a descendant of King Ramses, she went and did research on his life, and she found out that he fought a lot of wars. He was always in battle with somebody and everything else, defending the kingdom, and the way he died though was that his wife cut his throat, like from the top of his neck all the way down to his spine. And she conspired with his son to slice and cut his throat while he was sleeping. And so she said that, you know, he was fighting all these battles externally, but the big battle he needed to fight was inside his own house. Like what killed him house. And I think about the Black community in the same way, that we have these external battles and then we have the internal battles, you know. And I think and what I like about the fact that you started off with 15,000 Treff families, it says that you're talking about people that have kind of been vetted in terms of at least respecting the vision and wanting something better for the future. You didn't say, let's take 40 million African Americans and imagine if we all did the same thing. Because I've heard people have plans like that. What if we got every Black person in America to give $10? Hey, that ain't gonna happen. Not in our lifetime. I can't think of 40 million of us giving $10 to anything except the IRS or Popeye's Chicken or some ridiculous shit like that. I really gotta feel like there is you know, there's a need for a few good men and women. It doesn't mean that no one else matters. They do matter, but some people are a little more ready than others. It's like when you have a new product, you have your early adopters, and then you have your adopters, the people that get on board after they see what's working, right? So maybe, you know, in our community we have those people that are gonna pop in. You know, they'll see the vision in a generation or two. You know, when our kids and grandkids are running multi-billion-dollar corporations and they go work for our grandkids, then maybe they'll say, okay, I think I want to try to understand how they built all this, right? And about what you said, I took notes, by the way, as Professor Jay was talking. So one of the things that you mentioned that I really like is you talked about the value of people, and when you use a term like human resources or human capital, that's what I think about. You know, is that the important people. Fighting age men in South Africa during apartheid, they were very, very concerned about the number of Black fighting age men. They went out of their way to make sure that the fighting age men in the Black community could not fight. In fact, if you had a son that was between, like, say, the ages of 20 and 40, and he wasn't around, like he left town, they would come to the house and be like, "Where is your son?" Because they would be afraid that your son was going out to get military training.
Going plotting.
What's that again?
Out there plotting.
Yeah. So they're playing chess with it. You know,
that's the
people
thing.
that
if you want to destroy a community, destroy the fighting age men. If you want to build the community, build the fighting age men. Yep.
There you go, man. Well, you know, I think you know, and I think one of the great struggles, man, that that we're having now is I think that we have to really, really carry a banner for fatherhood. You know, the importance of what we lose when we act like the fathers are not important. You know,
Mm,
a lot of men
facts.
get to that age where they're fighting age. They don't even know how to fight. They don't. Some of them don't want to fight because nobody taught them how to fight. You know, I know that. I know that my wife is you know, she's a beautiful spirit with feminine energy, and she fights in her own way. But if you ask her about things like going to war, she'll say something that drives me crazy. She'll say war is never necessary. It's never necessary to go to war. I'm like, what are you talking about? No, if somebody runs up on you and they try to take you got to fight. You know, but that's a different energy, right? She is a natural nurturer, right? And
Yeah.
so your boys are being raised in an environment where they're not in touch with the masculine side and the necessity to fight. They're going to be deficient. They're not going to know how to operate in the world of men. They're going to be a little bit too much on that feminine side and bring that feminine energy into the world, and then it just becomes a big shit show. So we need those fathers in the house, man. You know, and I just get real, like right now with the Roe v. Wade conversation and all that. I'm
Mhm.
speaking up for the fathers. Just even with something as simple as abortion, I'm like, if you're carrying that man's baby, why do we act like he has no say in what happens to his child, to his
I'm
seed?
gonna, I'm gonna tell you why. Is what we talked about this whole conversation. Because if the man had a say so over his seed, and he wants his seed to bloom and blossom to become fruit, now you are again adding more to the population.
Mm,
So we want to give the women the full control and power with the feminine energy. The women who may not be so prone to plot and plan the takeover, and let's let them decide what happens with the offspring. So the man is now not empowered to be the CEO of his last name, the leader and visionary of the household, the protector of the household, the priest of the household, the coverer of the household. Let's now take that power away from him and empower her. And
mm.
tell her her new daddy, her new boss, her new man is the guy she works for, her
Yeah.
boss.
Or Joe Biden.
Correct. Or the politicians making the decisions. How can a
Man,
politician that's
picture.
never been in your household and who has uh, uh, no seed sown, no nurturing in your household, how can that politician make a decision for you and your legacy?
Mm,
Who gave them that authority? Who gave a politician more authority than you as a man on weapons with your seed?
mm. Man, you know, I saw a picture where there was a picture of Joe Biden, and he was walking with Kamala Harris on one side and Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson on the other. Now, I think these are both intelligent women, so it's not anything political about them as people. But I saw a black woman who wrote how proud she was to see the president of the United States flanked by two black women. And I said, let's go deeper into that picture. Um, First off, both of those women, you know, neither one of those women are married to a white man, or a black man. Both of them are married to white men.
Wow.
Nothing against their choice on who they chose to marry. But remember, there's never been a Supreme Court justice that's ever been married to a black person, ever. Right? So the ideal black family that you talk about is hated in America. If either one of those women had married a black man, they probably wouldn't be where they are right now. Chances are. The second piece of that is that it's very fascinating that they are flanking the man who is largely responsible for killing off over 100,000 black men through mass incarceration.
Mm.
So this guy comes in your community, kills off your son, your brother, your daddy, your future husband, your uncle, and all the men in your family, sends them away to the gulags with never to be seen again. And then he says, ain't no black men around, so you might as well have sex with me, you know, or you might as well kick it with me, right? Like that's the ultimate conqueror story, right? And people don't understand how that image is a reflection of a conquered community. And some people aren't gonna get it. Some people are just gonna celebrate the symbolism. I'm the one who says this is a rallying cry for every conscious black person in this country to understand what's really going on. You know, you got to fight back against that. You know, so what I liked about, I'm gonna say this, and I'll let you. I want you to take the ball, man. But like, what I loved about what like Ice Cube was doing in the last election by just making a masculine presence in the whole dialogue was he was bringing back masculine energy into black leadership. He was bringing that, as you mentioned, that strategy, that logic, that sitting down saying, look, I don't need you to tell me that you like me. I don't need to be your friend. I'm here to represent me and mine and make sure mine are good. You know, and the biggest resistance he got was mostly from black Democrats. They were the ones who were fighting him the hardest in terms of saying, like, sit down and shut up and dribble. And I think black men don't never need to shut up and dribble. We need to make our presence known in all the conversations we need to be involved with, even if it makes people pissed off. Because
it's our nation we're protecting. Everyone's forgetting that. I want to go back to your story, or the part of your story we talk about the conquered syndrome. Family. This is like, yo, this is a genius conversation. Like, this has to be like, this is it. Family. Not just white, black. Like, let's not minimize it to that. I don't care if it's like some tribe in South America versus another tribe, or some country versus another country, or whatever. It's the same thing. You come watch some Game of Thrones. Watch some Vikings on Netflix. Watch some Last Kingdom on Netflix. I watch all these shows. Right? Watch these shows about how conquering territories were formed. Yo, one group of fighting age men go into a village, a country, or territory, fight the other fighting age men, beat them, and then the spoils are their women for concubines in capture, their children for slaves and workers, and then their goods, their crops, their silver, their gold. That's the classic. Yo, we are not no different because we got airplanes and fancy cars now. Yo, it's still the same thing. Queen, you know I love Queen Alicia. And I want to say shout out to her too, by the way. Shout out to Queen Alicia. But wars have been going on since the beginning of time because of people that want to conquer other people's territory. And want their goods, want their resources, want their land. Like, yo, I like what you got, and as opposed to be diplomatic about it, I'm going to take it. There's nothing you can say to me. There's no prayer you can do. There's no fancy spiel you can give me that's not going to make me take what you got because I want it. And as long as those kind of men exist in the world, we're always going to have war because someone's going to have a sense enough to defend themselves against someone trying to take their women and take their good and take their land. So when you see Joe Biden as a representative of the Europeans that conquered the Aborigine Africans who were already here, when you see that extension of him walking with the two black women flanking him, it's still European powers are in rulership. You guys have come up in classes of this, but we still rule this country, and you guys have no nation, no vision, no structure, and no governing of your own. It's still that, right? And so, when you mentioned the Ice Cube piece, listen, there's only one political play that is the political play, and I usually am very open-minded about most things, and I still listen to things. I hear everything. I don't shut off. I don't listen to everything, but I hear everything, and I process everything. The only political play for black people is to remove ourselves from a commitment to both parties. It's the only play is to be neutral in literally two parts, to build our own in this neutrality, to have our own party, our own not even our own party, our own governing system, our own governing body. So a little self-governing. That's the real play. But in the meanwhile, when it comes to this current system, we have to make our demands known for us. Not for Democrats, not for LGBTQ, for us as a lost like kind of people, formerly enslaved, many of us, Aborigine, many of us, traveled here earlier, many of us, some enslaved and brought here from other shores, right? This collective of people have to pull back and say, yo, we got to focus on our self-governing and how we do that. But in the meanwhile, Republican, Democrat, we not tied to neither one of y'all. What we tied to is our agenda. And whichever one of you guys gives us the best play, meets the best guidelines of our agendas, we'll back that party or that person, that candidate, until we get our own all sorted and figured out. So we're going to be building our own. Don't get it messed up. We're still going to be doing that. And we're going to have our own table to have a table-to-table conversation. Not us be at your table. But while we're at your table right now, we're not picking which end of the table we're sitting at. We're going to stand there outside the table, and y'all going to court us Well, who got the best agenda, who meets our agenda the most? That's
Mm-hmm.
what side of the table we sit on. That's how you have pure leverage. When
Yeah.
you know, as it could cause us consumers, when the stores, the Republican store and a Democratic store, they both want our consumer dollar, our vote. Well, when you know as a store, this person might buy from Gucci, they might buy from Louis. Whoever's gonna give them the best deal and bang for their buck is where they're going. When we position ourselves in a political climate the same as a bargain shopping customer, we need to be bargain voters. I'm going to vote for the best bargain for my voting buck, not for some kind of political allegiance that doesn't exist under the same system that Malcolm X preached about in 1964 in the ballot or the bullet.
Oh, oh, hey Jay. Yeah, one second.
Can you hear me?
Keep going. You said the bullet.
Yeah, can you hear me now? Hold on, there's kind of messing me up.
Yep.
So in the same speech Malcolm gave in a ballot or bullet, we have to be able to, over 50, 60, 70 years later, have wisdom in our political climate. They're not beating us. They're not giving us reparations because we're Democrat or Republican. They're not police brutality because we're Democrat or Republican. They're not. Our schools aren't horrible because we're Democrat or Republican. Only thing that happens because we're black. Right? The second class citizenship is because of our political affiliations because we're black. So we still keep running to the Republican or Democrat Party, acting like each is going to save us. We are insane doing the same things, expecting different results.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all did it with Biden. And look, it's the same thing. So those are my take on that. And I got to go in a second. I actually got a meeting I'm a couple minutes late for. But it's been an amazing conversation.
Yeah, man. Well, you said a lot, man. And go and go to your meeting, man. But I want everybody to know June 1st is when you're having your event at the Black House in Atlanta. I will be there. You and I talked this morning. I put it on my calendar, so I'm there. And also everybody should just go visit the Black House at some point. You know, this is your house.
Our house.
It's a great place, and what they're doing down there is extraordinary, man. Well, good to see you, brother. Thanks for hanging out.
Everybody pull up, man. I haven't even announced it on my own page yet. Black House Homecoming, June 1st through 5th. You have details going up. But make your way to Atlanta. It's happening. It's going to be amazing. Visit the Black House in Black Mecca, a 2.6-acre campus for us, by us. And we're honoring Dr. Boyce and some others June 1st, Wednesday night. You guys should pull up for that. It's going to be amazing. And you're going to witness Black excellence in real life.
Yes, yes. Well, take it easy, brother. Everybody, guys, for a few more minutes and take it easy, man. Good to see you, brother. All right, so Jay and I talk every Thursday about noon. So if you want to come back in next Thursday at noon, feel free to come hang out. And the points that he made, I thought were extraordinarily good. Basically, what he's saying, and this is true in negotiation theory, you don't overcommit. You know, you don't. As far as the time goes, I'm not sure. Follow Jay, and I'm sure he'll put the times and everything up there. But when it comes to negotiation, the biggest mistake Black people make when it comes to negotiating in every election is that we pre-commit too early. If you overcommit too early, it's just like when you buy a car. They say that when you buy a car, if you do it, let's say you do a test drive in the car, you do not want to tell the guy, "Oh, I really love this car. I really want to have this car." Because if you do that, then they're going to negotiate with you differently than if you say, I don't know, I'm thinking about it. I got to talk to my wife. I got to see if I got the money. I don't know. There's about 4 or 5 other offers, right? In that second scenario, they're going to work harder to get your business. But if they know they got you, you know, it's just like having the best, giving somebody the best sex in the world, and when they have an orgasm, you're like, I got him. You know, I know she'll do whatever I say now because I know she's she's hypnotized now, right? But the thing is, when you're talking about politics, you don't want to do that. You want to sit back and say, I don't know what I might do something crazy. I might not vote at all. I might vote for this other party. I might do this. I might do that. And then what happens is people step up and they give you their best effort. And this is true in any negotiation that you're in, whether you're negotiating for a job, negotiating for a car, negotiating your relationship, right? Anybody ever notice how people act differently when they know you got options than when they know that you don't have any options, right? If they know you ain't got no options, you ain't going nowhere. They're going to treat you differently than if they see, if he sees that you got some other guy's phone number in your phone and you calling him just like you calling the other guy like that. He's going to step up and he's going to become competitive over that, right? So I would just say that when it comes to the elections, if you overcommit too early, not only are you weakening your position, but you're also harming your community in very significant ways. I studied the Vietnam War. My father was in Vietnam, and I was really intrigued by Vietnam because of what my father went through and my uncle. And I watched a 12-hour documentary about Vietnam, all the way back from the French occupation through the legacy of Ho Chi Minh, who was their great leader. He was kind of like their Malcolm X, that kind of thing. And all the way through the war, I was like, why were they fighting this war? Why were black men and women being sent 10,000 miles across the country, across the world, to fight in these jungles? It didn't make any sense. And one of the things I concluded from studying, this whole situation was that I believe a critical mistake that the leadership of Vietnam made was that they committed to the Soviet Union. Because before they were trying to get the Americans to help them liberate from the French. That's what it was all about. It was all about liberation. They were just like us, trying to get liberation because the French had controlled them for a long time. So after World War I, when the French were weak, Ho Chi Minh went to some big conference. I want to say maybe the Geneva Convention, but that's probably not right. It was something in the early 20th century. He went to this big conference, like they have the big conventions after the wars or whatever. So he goes there and he tries to talk to Woodrow Wilson, and he wants Wilson's help to liberate and become an independent country. Wilson pretty much ignores him and blows him off. So what he does then was he goes over to the Soviet side and gets the Soviets to support him. The problem with that, though, was that by aligning his country with the Soviets, aligning North Vietnam with the Soviets, they attracted the attention of the Americans. Because when you align yourself with one group of people, you're taking on all their assets and all their liabilities. You got all their friends, but you also have all their enemies. So by aligning with the Soviets, he attracted the attention of the Americans, and what happened was Vietnam became ground zero for an epic battle between democracy and communism, right? Or capitalism and communism, I guess, right? The Americans and the Soviets, they used Vietnam as like a playground where they're dropping bombs, blowing everything up. They dropped more bombs on tiny little Vietnam than all the countries dropped on all the other countries in all of World War II combined. So they destroyed this country. They did a lot to them what they're doing to you. They had brother trying to kill his own brother. They had families that would known each other for centuries or for 20, 30, 40 years, fighting each other, trying to kill each other because I'm from the North, you from the South. And black people, I see that happening with us. Where we get into this stuff like, well, I'm Democrat and you're a Republican and you're a Trump supporter, so I don't talk to my cousin no more because he's a Trump supporter. But that's your cousin. Like, he's been your cousin long before Donald Trump. He was your cousin long before Joe Biden. Why in the world would you stop talking to somebody that loved you since birth because they have different political opinions? It divides families. So what I'm saying to you is stop aligning yourself with these epic superpowers that have been fighting since long before you were born. The Democrats and Republicans are always going to be fighting. Liberals and conservatives have always hated each other. You've always had these causes, the LGBT, the feminist movement, all these other things. But at the end of the day, you got to be black first. If you're black first, then you can be all these other things, but don't take them as seriously as you take your first and most important alliance and allegiance. Or they will do exactly to you what they did to Vietnam. They will divide you. They will destroy you. And they will ruin your families and they will ruin your whole community. And it's already happening right now. You see the divisions that occur in every time there's a presidential election, you see black people who stop speaking to each other, black people who are going after each other, attacking each other, black people who are beating up on each other. But when a black person makes a political statement, first thing they do is they send another Negro out there to go and counterattack, right? Because they're using you the same way the Russians and the Americans use Vietnam. And let me tell you what happened. Here's the thing. You can form these alliances. You think they got you like, well, I got, in Vietnam, they were like, oh, the Americans have our back, right? So down in Saigon, they're fighting against their own brother, their own sister, because they're thinking the Americans have their back. Well, anybody ever heard of the fall of Saigon? Anybody heard about the fall of Saigon? Well, you know what that was? That was when the Americans said, yeah, we know we said we have your back, but we don't really we're tired of fighting now. We gonna go back home now. And then they left Saigon completely vulnerable. So then what happened was the people from the north came down and they settled all the scores. They were killing entire families. They would chop people's heads off in the street. Everybody who sided with the other side got taken out because your protection was gone, right? So ultimately, when I look at Vietnam, I think they should have probably just worked to become an independent country without picking a side, because when they picked a side, that was one of the things that ruined the country. So I'm saying to black people, I believe we should be independent, not pick a side. I'm not picking the Democratic side. I'm not picking the Republican side. I'm picking the black side, and that's going to be my side to the day I die. All right, guys, so I'm going to get out of here. It was great talking to you. Thank you for listening. And by the way, the event with Alicia is May 15th in Chicago. So if you want to join, it's a generational wealth and legacy event. It's adults only, though, because we're going to talk about some adult kinds of issues, not just wealth, but also relationship stuff. You know, she's a relationship therapist. So if you want to join us, click the link in the bio. Only 100 people are allowed. So we will sell out. There probably won't be any tickets at the door. So you want to get your ticket in advance. So just click the link in the bio and you can come on to the event. Or if you want to see the other events we have in other cities, hit the events link and you can check it out. Also, if you, some of you are asking about the financial workbooks for kids, excuse me, we have some in stock now. So if you want to take a look at the financial workbooks for kids that we designed for black children to teach them wealth, investing, stocks, all this stuff, feel free to click the link in the bio and you can take a look at the workbooks. All right, guys, I'm out of here. Have a good day, and I'll talk to you later.